Hi everyone. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about masking as a strategy that you can use. So if your child is really sensitive visually or maybe to a flavor of a food, you can do what we call masking, which is you kind of hide that aspect of the food in order to kind of move them through. So what do I mean by this? So for example, my son doesn't always love seeing the little flecks of green in the food. He knows it's there. It's not something he enjoys looking at. So what we do is we cover it with his favorite. He loves spicy mayo, but it could be ketchup or barbecue sauce or hummus or some other condiment. So we kind of cover it with that, and he's then able to eat it and move through that process. So I think that this might really help some families that are really struggling, where you can't get them to that next stage. So sometimes this is like a little bridge in between the foods you're adding to your child's food, or that they're starting to explore and have interest in, but they're not ready to take that deep dive into just like full out looking at it, smelling it, tasting it. So again, it's not that I'm really hiding that the food is in there. Most of the time he helps me and he adds it in himself, but something about when he actually looks at it turns him off for whatever reason. So this bridge of masking using his favorite condiment is really, really, really helpful. It gets him to eat those foods successfully. And, you know, he does get those flavors. They do get onto his tongue and on his palate, and he experiences the food. But it's, I don't know, kind of like in a gentler easing in type of a way. It's kind of how I look at it. So this might be something that would really help you. You know, it doesn't have to be using a condiment. It could be using a sauce. But you know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I'd say we even really do masking with bread. A lot of times he has a hard time taking a piece of chicken and eating it. He's happy to eat it if it is mixed in with cheese, like in like a grilled cheese type of a sandwich way. So in the way the bread is masking the visual difference of the chicken and the different textures and colors that are in there, it's masking it, but he's still able to move through and get the food into his body, right? Which is, I guess, our goal. And, you know, my hope is that at some point we do less and less of the masking. So, you know, some kids, I've seen some kids where they just take like a huge scoop of whatever and it's like totally covered, right? And that's obviously not ideal. But what we can do is over time slowly do less and less and less of the masking, and having them see more and more and more of the food as they gain comfort with, like, okay, this is safe, this does taste good, this, you know, kind of easing some of those fears. So I think that this is a strategy hopefully everyone can implement in some way, shape, or form. You know, it's just a matter of looking at your child's food and seeing how you can use some of their preferred foods to mask the foods that are a little bit less preferred, right? So again, it's not so much about sneaking it in. I'd still like them to know that it's there ideally, because hopefully they're helping you make their food, right? So they know it's there. But this is just like kind of like that bridge that kind of helps them move from one place to the next. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments, how this goes and what you've tried it with.